Hi, I'm Mrs. Berger. I am a librarian here at the Owens Community College Library, and we have decided that we would read some books for you to listen to while your parents maybe are helping a brother or sister with their classwork, or maybe mom and dad are working on their own classwork, and just you have some extra time that you just want to sit and relax. So we hope that we've chosen some books that are interesting to you and that you will enjoy. As I read, I may hold the book a little bit farther so I can see the words okay, and then we'll bring it closer so that you can see the illustrations of the book. The book that I'm going to read right now is one of my personal favorites, Miss Nelson is Missing. Have you read that one before? Well, if not, here we go. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling, paper planes whizzed through the air, and there were the worst behaved class in the entire school. Look at them. Do you see that paper airplane flying way back up here? And somebody's emptying the trash. Oh my goodness. Is your classroom ever like that when you're in school? Now settle down, Miss Nelson said in a sweet voice, but the class just would not settle down. They whispered and they giggled, they squirmed and they made silly faces. Goodness gracious. Oops. And they were even rude during story hour. Can you believe that? And they always refused to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, Miss Nelson said. She just didn't know what she could do. Well, the next morning, Miss Nelson, she didn't come to school at all. Wow, yelled the kids. Now we can really act up. They began to make more spitballs and paper planes. Today, let's just be terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. Who do you think is coming? Yikes! A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. I am your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp. And she rapped the desk with her ruler. Where is Miss Nelson? Asked the kids. Never mind that, snapped Miss Swamp. Open those math books. Miss Nelson's kids, well, they were scared, so they did what they were told. They could see that Miss Swamp was a real witch. She really meant business. Right away, she put them right to work. She loaded them down with tons and tons of homework. That doesn't sound like fun now, does it? We will have no story hour today, said Miss Swamp. Keep your mouth shut, said Miss Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Miss Swamp. And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry, said Miss Swamp. The kids in room 207 had never worked so hard. Days went by and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. Oh, how the kids missed Miss Nelson. Maybe we should try to find her, they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective Mr. Smog, was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. He said. I think Miss Nelson is missing. Detective McSmog would not be much help. Well, some of the kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered the door. In fact, the only person they did see was that wicked Miss Viola Swamp walking up the street. If she sees us, she's going to give us more homework. And they got away just in the nick of time. This picture's kind of hard to see now, isn't it? Let's see if we can get a better. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. Well, that didn't seem very likely. What do you think? Look at those sharks. Where's Miss Nelson? Oh, does anybody see the feet that could be Miss Nelson's? There they are, hiding behind a little shark. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, said another kid. Well, that didn't seem likely either. I know, exclaimed one of the students. Maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. That seemed the least likely of all. What do you think? Well, the kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back, and they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. Oh, here comes that witch again, they whispered. Hello, children, said someone in a sweet voice. Who could it be? It was Miss Nelson. Did you miss me? She asked. We certainly did, said the kids. Where were you? Well, that is my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about story hour? Oh, yes, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. What brought about this lovely change, she asked. Well, said the kids, that is our little secret. Back home, Miss Nelson took off her coat and hung it in the closet, right next to a very ugly old black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself. P.S. Detective McSmog is working on another new case. He is now looking for the missing Miss Viola Swamp. So who do you think Miss Viola Swamp really was? Did you guess that Miss Viola Swamp was Miss Nelson? You're right. You are a very good detective. Much better than Detective McSmog, huh? Well, I hope you enjoyed this book. Stay tuned for more stories. There will be different people reading different stories, and you can just ask Mom and Dad to look right here on our library website. Have a good afternoon.